Well, good morning, everybody. This is Tim Green with Rattle Magazine, and this is your Poets Respond open mic show for Easter Sunday, April 12th, 2020. Thanks so much for joining me. This is our Sunday morning news poetry show where we go through the current events and enjoy them and understand them better through poetry. Now, as always, I should say before we start, Rattle is a publication of the Rattle Foundation, a 501c3 nonprofit working to promote the practice of poetry. We've been in continuous publication since 1995, and we are unaffiliated with any other organization. We just do this because we love poetry and want to share it, and you can help out by sharing it too. Click that like button wherever you're watching this. This is streamed live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter and Periscope. So it's all over the place, but wherever you're doing it, click that like button, make sure you're subscribed, and share it with your friends if you enjoy this. Every Sunday for the last 5 years, I've been reading submissions for Poets Respond. We publish one, but I get to sit around and experience the world this way. So this is a chance to share that with everybody else. So hope you enjoy this, because I really like it a lot. Now, to start out, we're always going to share the poems that we published this week. And the first one, today's poem, is here. This is Alexander Umlass, What You've Done. And I just loved, first of all, I loved that this was a light poem. That, we've had so many heavy, powerful, sort of, uplifting or terrifying kind of poems. And this was a very funny, slice of life kind of moment. On the surface, it was entertaining and really funny, but also beneath that, I felt like it captured this sort of sense of absurdity and panic that I think at some point or other we've all felt during this coronavirus crisis. And I know for me, I went to one of the last days when people just started to realize what was going on. And there started to be that panic buying all toilet paper and stuff. I had to go. Actually, it was to get Easter stuff for the kids for today. I didn't know if we'd be able to go out again. So I wanted to make sure we had some Easter presents and things like that. And but I went down the crazy aisle that was almost bare. And there was only one thing that said Lysol. And so I just grabbed it like a panicked idiot. And it turns to be toilet bowl cleaner and not even disinfectant that you could use. And we have a septic tank up in the mountains here. So we're not even supposed to use that kind of stuff. So it's a completely useless, stupid panic purchase. And I think a lot of people have been feeling that sort of absurd, like, what am I doing? At some point you feel that. And so this was a poem that captured that. So this was Alexander Umlass, who, I should stop talking. Here's the poem.
What You've Done. That night, the clouds roll in, as if on a whim, just at the moment you decide to take the dog you rescued outside to pee, and you've discovered how the dog is scared of the rain, the wind shattering the stillness of the trees, how the dog won't move, not even an inch, but stands solidly, his forelegs statued to the porch. So you carry the dog, who is too big to be a lap dog, but small enough to awkwardly hold, down to the corner where the bushes are on which all the other dogs have peed, the corner where there's a fire hydrant, the ultimate dog peeing place, and you set him down. His name is Joey Ramone because your husband loves music and you already had a cat named Beatles, like the band, not the bug, and you and Joey Ramone are there on the corner of Vista del Sol with the rain pelting you both, and you say a prayer to the pea gods that the dog will find bravery enough so you can sleep until the morning without worrying, and you remember your children when they were very young, how much they needed at 4 a.m, and you remember how your grandmother could never get comfortable at night. It's late, an hour that makes the mind panic about getting up, and the dog is also panicked because of the rain that's still shooting into your eyes, and no amount of his furious shaking can shake off the falling rain, and so he runs all the way home, pulling you behind him through the darkness, past the masked raccoon hiding in the tree, and you remember the man who made the joke about who was walking who, and you feel as ridiculous as you look. But as if that isn't ridiculous enough, when you get home, you remember the pee pads you picked up at Petco because you didn't know what to get, and better to be safe than sorry. You dig through the cupboard to find one, set it in the garage, pull the dog there where it isn't raining, and you listen to the resolve of the rain on the garage roof and pray again the dog will just pee. And you remember something about ammonia and decide if you spray Windex the dog might pee on it, and you find the bright blue bottle, spritz a bit on the pad, and as Joey Ramone walks by the pad again, you think about my big fat Greek wedding, how Windex cures all. The dog sniffs curiously, and still nothing. So you think how the dog usually pees where other dogs pee, except when it's raining, and you have no other dogs, being a one-dog household, and you were talked into this dog by your kids because you are a cat person. But your husband says something to you one day. He says, I don't want to live my whole life and not know what it's like to have a dog, even though he is also a cat person. And so you go to Wags, the shelter in Westminster, and there is Joey Ramone, and all of a sudden he's in your car, and you are buying pee pads and a $50 dog bed. Your husband loves to tell people that the best thing about getting a dog is not having to hear your kids ask for a dog anymore. And it is for all these reasons that right then and there you pull down your sweatpants, still damp from the rain, and you squat and pee just a little, just to see if you can get the dog to go, and still he doesn't go, but looks at you like he can't believe what you've resorted to. And you both go to bed, and it's still raining, and now every time it rains, you are reminded of what you've done.
That was Alexandra Umlas with her Poetry Spawn poem from today, What You've Done. In her note, she says, over the past few weeks, we have all found ourselves doing things we have never imagined doing before. Also, it's been raining a lot in Southern California this week, which I can attest. We got a lot of snow and rain off and on here. The creeks are flowing like crazy down the mountain. When I read this poem to my kids, they told me they liked it, but that I probably shouldn't send it anywhere. So that was a fun one. I really enjoyed it. And now the other poem that we published this week was, we don't have the audio, and it's a longer sequence. If you've been watching Poetry Spawn regularly, you know that we started out with poems about the coronavirus over a month ago, almost 2 months ago, really, like mid-February, with a great poem called Coronavirus in China, which is a 7-part sequence by a poet, Anthony Tao, in Beijing. And this kind of is sort of a bookend on that, maybe. I thought of at the time, although we're still going to be publishing these coronavirus poems. But this was Antiviral by Amit Majmudar. And I didn't know at the time, but he's apparently the first poet laureate of Ohio. But he's also a doctor. And his sister is a nurse, I guess. And so he wrote this poem, both thinking about, healthcare professionals and his own experience and worrying about his sister. And it's a longer poem, Antiviral Cocktail Sequence. So I'm just going to read one part, and then you can read the rest at rattle.com by scrolling back a little bit. This was Thursday's poem. You can find it on rattle.com/respond to. But I think I'll read the second part. An American nurse foresees her death. I stepped out of a kill zone shaped like a bedroom, then went home to sleep in my garage. This hand that sponged the fever off a body waves at my kids through the living room window. I text my husband through a weeping wall. The scrubs go in a mommy hamper I warn my kids away from with a Crayola skull and crossbones. The face on the laptop doesn't let on how the knuckles sanitized raw bleed in blue gloves, and lunch is an apple between codes. When the shift ends, if it ever ends, I ghost the perimeter of my own life and set the alarm for 4:30 in the morning. The enemy doesn't want me working. The enemy wants to grant me days of rest, a bed of my own in a kill zone shaped like a break room. Nurses I know are nursing nurses through the never-ending fevers ending them. That will be me soon, one or the other, or one then the other. At sign out last Friday, we didn't say bed numbers. We said first names. That's just one of 4 parts to this poem, so do check the rest out. A really excellent one that we published on Thursday. Now, so we're going to open up the open lines in just a bit, just a few minutes. How you do that, if you'd like to join in, whether or not you submitted to Poet Respond, you can still join in if you have a poem that relates to current events. This is the way we're going to be, sharing the news of the week through poetry. And you can do that by calling the number on screen, 818-850-7727. Just let it ring a couple times, and then I'll call you back later in the show. It's sort of a first come, first serve kind of thing. But I get a call list if you call in. So just call in for a minute and let it ring for a few times, maybe 10 rings or something. And then I'll call you back later. Then we also have Skype, which is the better way because then we can see you too. And to do that, just open up Skype, find me at Rattle Poetry, all one word, Rattle Poetry, and then send a chat message through Skype. And that'll do the same thing. That'll put you on a list, and I'm just going in the order of people who requested to be on. So far we have, we have Caitlyn B again, Linda Parsons, Joppy K, Nancy Kangas, Miriam Bloomfield. We got a 420 number. And John Luna so far, and we're probably enough for all these folks. So, and probably a little room for more. We're going to go till a little past 10 o'clock my time, 1 p.m. Eastern. About an hour, a little over an hour long show is about how much works. I think that's the best time length, I think. Now, we have a special, we get a lot of unusual submissions too for Poet Respond. And there was one this week that was really fun. It wasn't really quite right for Rattle. You'll see why. It's a PSA announcement, and it's sort of a rhyming. I don't say doggerel, but it's a rhyming poem. And I'm gonna hang on one second. I'm going to play it here for you now. This is by Edward Flynn, and Ed Flynn. Here, let me put it on screen. Ed Flynn is with Cloud Seed Films, and he sent this really cool video. This is the Daft Germaphobe, and I asked him if he wanted us to play it here, and he said yes. So thanks so much to Ed for sharing this. This is a Poet Response submission this week in video form. The Daft Germaphobe. Here we go.
A daft germaphobe who feared all microbes ran out of hand sanitizer. With plague raging outside, he was waging to hide, since that seemed so much the wiser. But his sequester did cease when he used the last piece of tissue and toilet paper. He furthered to fret as he smelled a new threat from a wafting bowel vapor. With pensive haste, he walked fingers laced to stop any chance of touching. With people he passed, he sped by very fast, for contagion he didn't want clutching. Unwinding and frayed, his nerves they were played in these dances of social distance. Each step he noted, viral goblins bloated and grew in their rotten persistence. The store was near, as he filled with fear, he ran to escape the gore. But when he reached for the door, his horror peaked even more than before. For barring his way, to his great dismay, on the handle he noticed a spore.
So that was The Daft Germaphobe by Cloud Seed Films and Edward Flynn. Now, Cloud Seed Films, you see it's based in Portland, Oregon. And over here off the screen a little bit, you can see it's available for hire. So if you're interested in having any poems narrated or animated like this, which is really cool, we might actually take him up on that idea and hire him to do a poem or two. I kind of wanted to do a little more of that. So check that out, Cloud Seed Films. But that was a really funny poem and a good animation. I love the way that's put together. It's really hard, I think, to do animated poems. And that really worked. I like that a lot. So really happy to share that. Thanks so much for letting us share it, Ed Flynn. Really appreciate that. Did he send the other URL? No. So just check him out. If you go to just type in Cloud Seed Films. Cloud Seed's all one word on YouTube, and you'll probably find it. Okay, so let's open up the open lines. We have a couple more people asking in. But first we're going to do Linda Parsons, who had a poem. Let's see. I want to make sure I don't have her okay, there we go. I want to make sure I don't have her email address on screen. But I'm going to call up Linda Parsons. She tried to go on a couple weeks ago and Skype wasn't working right. So I'm calling her up right now. I should say, if I call you over Skype, please do shut off your YouTube stream so that there's no echo, and also gives gives you more bandwidth for your internet connection. So Linda Parsons, I have you. I see you. Let me pull you in so everyone else can see you and hear you too. Yeah, I can hear you. 1 second. Okay. Linda Parsons, hello. Good to see you. I'm glad you could make it this time.
Yeah, I'm thrilled to be here. Thanks.
Yeah, so you wanted to share My Daughter Says Basket. Is that the poem?
Yes, it sure is.
Okay, great. And you're calling from Knoxville, Tennessee.
I sure am. It's beautiful here, although we've got some good rain.
Yeah. It's been raining, like that first poem mentioned. It's been raining and snowing nonstop because we're up in the mountains since Sunday. We've gotten, I think it's a record amount of snow in a week, or rain in a week or something like that. But the weather broke yesterday, so we finally got to go for a hike again and get a little vitamin D, which was very nice.
Oh, we all need that. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So let me put this on screen for everybody to see, and then here we go. And then we need... Okay, so My Daughter's Basket's up for everybody to read.
All right. My daughter says basket. My daughter says basket, not pandemic. But we both know where this is going. We've seen the death mask before. Cavernous O, the mouth makes going. Finally knowing how all the woven light opens the cave that even my daughter will one day enter unmasked. Make me a basket, she says. What to read when I can only mouth my days, unspoken, unheard. What scent for the room, lavender, mint. What music to brighten the passage. What message for corridors echo. The loom and weft, time weaves of mother and daughter. This is what she needs for the basket, for the day looming that neither wants to speak of or hear.
Thanks so much, Linda Parsons, reading My Daughter Says Basket. Beautiful poem, Linda. Thanks so much for sharing that. Just another example of how many really great poems are submitted to Poet Respond every week, and I'm so glad we get to share and hear more of them through this show.
This opportunity to give us voice.
Yeah, thanks, and hope you send in more poems and call in again soon.
Appreciate that. Thanks, Tim.
Have a good day. Happy Easter, too.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, let's see. So next up, we have Caitlyn Buxbaum, who has been on a couple times. We know she has a good connection. She was one of the first people. I think she was the first person to do the Poets Respond open mic about a month ago. Hey, Caitlyn. Yeah. Just so everybody knows, I have to say this every week, but I am calling from the future because it might even be up to a minute delay, and it's not for the censors. I think it's just as things bounce around different servers. So let me find, what poem did you want to read today, Caitlyn? And you're in Alaska. No, I don't think I asked last time, but now, but I saw at some point that you're in Alaska.
Yep. Yes, I am. Born and raised.
Where in Alaska?
And so I'm in Wasilla, so that's about 40 minutes north of Anchorage.
Mm-hmm.
So also Sarah Palintown.
Oh yeah, that's
People have mostly forgotten that now, so I should probably stop bringing it up. But
no, that's interesting. How is she doing? Is she still like locally? She kind of disappeared from the national scene.
She did. I have no idea what she's doing, where she is. Haven't heard anything.
I bet the next time we'll see her is on Dancing with the Stars. That's my prediction.
Okay, well, I'll try to remember that and see if you were right.
Okay, so, you wanted to read the John Prine Obeyed, right? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, and actually, that word, I've heard it pronounced like 4 different ways, and then I was watching Billy Collins read poems this week, and he said, "Oh, bod," I believe.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with that, because that's what Billy Collins said.
Billy Collins says, yeah. I pronounce everything wrong, so, every name, I'm sure everything, I'm a hermit, and I just read, so I have no idea how to pronounce anything, but
I get that. I feel that.
Okay, so here's on screen John Prine Abode. Abode? How did he say it?
You said obod.
Obod, okay. Well,
but I've heard obeyed also, so
yeah,
I don't know.
Well, we have a bade for one dismayed. It doesn't work if it's a rhyme.
Yeah.
So it doesn't work if it's obod. So other people think it's a bade, but anyway. Okay, here we go. John Prine's Obod.
All right, John Prine Obod. What I remember most about you, of course, is your music. How it was a little too old school for me once I hit adolescence. But I still cherished how you got my parents singing in spite of ourselves from separate rooms until they inevitably came together to say, "Against all odds, honey, we're the big door prize." I was 5 when that song came out, and too young to realize how important it was. Only Dad sang Fish and Whistle, and sometimes Dear John, while Mom waited for Deanna Carter to shuffle round in the CD changer with Strawberry Wine or Did I Shave My Legs for This? Because in my memory, we always listened to them together, even though, for once, they didn't need to compromise. I say we, but country folk was never my genre of choice. Ah, the night of my youth, a slow, angsty burn to the dawn of adulthood, where I awake to learn of your passing, just before Passover. I almost expect your grave to be empty on Good Friday, as if you inadvertently jumped the gun to your death with this unexpected virus, in order to rise on the 3rd day, whether Easter had arrived or not. After all, wouldn't it make for a good song? I suppose we'll have to settle for a poem, written by a daughter born with your words in her mouth, and your own lyrical legacy that has us singing along in spite of ourselves.
Thanks so much. That was the John Prine Obod from Caitlyn Buxbaum. Thanks so much for sharing that. I don't know if other people are having this experience, but I'm feeling a lot of that Mandela effect kind of thing. I don't know if you know what that is, but that is where the fake theory that reality is changing, because there's so many celebrities that I've never heard of. Somehow I'd gone through my entire life never hearing of John Prine. I swear I jumped to another universe. Because everybody acts like he's such a famous musician.
Well, and I thought he was. My husband didn't know of him either. Oh my gosh.
See, so your husband was in my previous alternate universe where John Prine didn't exist. That's the only explanation. And there's a few other celebrities that everybody's like, oh my God, I can't believe they died and they're so huge. And I'm like, who is that? And then I go look it up, and there's tons of music on YouTube or whatever,
Yeah.
But there are a lot of really talented celebrities in the world, unfortunately, passing away right about now. But anyway, thanks so much for sharing that poem, Caitlyn, and I'll talk to you soon.
Yep.
Bye. Okay, let's go to Carrie, Gunter, Seymour. I just noticed there's actually an option to merge calls, which is a button that pops up as people are calling. So maybe sometime we can have multiple people on the line. But actually, Carrie Gunter already been on too. Well, let's just do her since she's calling right now. Hey, Carrie, let me pull you in just 1 second. Oh, yep. Turn off your YouTube, and then I'll pull you in. Okay, sounds good now. Oh, and click your camera button so we can see you too.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Hello, good to see you. And you are calling from Ohio?
I'm calling.
Okay.
I was in the first.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And it's like southeastern Ohio near West Virginia. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. And you had a poem you wanted to share. Really sad about your mother, who's been quarantined and you can't visit. Do you want to say something about what it's about as I find it?
Sure. Our governor, as we talked about last time, Tim, has been really stepping up during this whole entire time of chaos and panic, and has, from the very moment we had even one case, has began shutting things down and doing the right things. But it's been really difficult for all of us. But one thing that hasn't been mentioned a lot is the nursing homes. And those have been closed for nearly 6 weeks now. And my own mother is 89. She's in advanced dementia. And so she's not able to see well, so no window visits. She can't understand talking on the phone anymore. So we literally haven't seen her in that amount of time. And you can't help but wonder, what she's thinking, that her kids are not coming to see her,
Yeah,
It's
it
hard.
must be really hard. And just the psychological toll of having no contact, while being stuck in there.
On her part and ours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I have it up if you want to read it.
Thank you so much. I'd love to. Shall I
Yeah, go
begin?
ahead.
Okay. Ohio announces its first COVID-19 nursing home death. March winds blow bitey against a blind blue cloudless day. I cover my mouth, hunker down. How far across the sky will this corona spread its wings? It's Tuesday, and if the world had not splintered, I would be driving into town as I have every other. My mother, gone thin some months ago, sits locked away, trapped between memory and the moment, her body rusting. Other daughters hold her now, masked, silk threads of life cradled in their latexed hands. I was never much for prayer. I'm inclined to hold a person in light. I'm praying now, praying for grace, for mercy, for Barb, Stacia, Bobby, all the names and faces borrowed. For some, this is their first job. Others, the one they got stuck in, exhausting on a good day. I can only in them now.
Thanks so much, Carrie. Carrie Gunter Seymour. Thanks so much for sharing that poem. It's really touching, and I hope you get to see your mom really soon.
Thanks, and I just want to do a really huge shout out to all those people who are working so hard for her and so many others to keep safe and heal them. So thank you to all those out there on the front line.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks very much, and thanks a lot for saying that, Carrie. Have a good one.
You too, Tim.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay. It was Carrie Gunter Seymour. She has a book. We were talking about maybe having her on the Rattlecast. She has a new book out coming soon, I guess. A Place So Deep Inside America It Cannot Be Seen. Which I think she said is forthcoming soon. We talked over, where was that? Oh, Facebook. We were talking on Facebook. Okay, now next up, let's see. We have Joppy K. I'm not sure I can, let me see if I can send a quick message. I'm not sure I can show this poem. If I should say, I forgot to tell everybody, if you would like me to, if you submitted a poem to Poet Respond, I can show it on screen really easily, just pulling it up there. If you've edited since then or didn't submit it to Poetry Respond, you can email it to open mic, all one word, open mic. That's M-I-C, or no, yeah, M-I-C, open mic, OPENMIC at rattle.com, open mic at rattle.com. And then I can show it if it's been revised since you submitted it, or you didn't submit it at all. I can still put it up. I'm going to try to get, this is JP Kai. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. He sent a poem through Skype's chat window, so I'm trying to pull that up, and then I'm going to give him a call. So just giving him a heads up. I wonder if that's going to work. Let's see, open. Thinking. There comes Word. Okay, now I got to figure out how to get Word into here, but I think I can do it. Let's see. PDF? No, we don't need a PDF. We want Word. Can work? There we go. Okay. So let me call up JP Kai. Hello, is it JP Japai? How do you say your name? JPK. Okay, JPK. Thanks so much for joining us. Let me pull you in just 1 second. Here we go. We see you and we hear you. Thanks so much for joining us. And I got your poem too, Day Whatever.
Day Whatever. Yeah, I might have a helper here that enters the shot. He's I'm on duty right now.
Oh,
so
yeah.
We may have a guest, another guest.
Sounds good. We love a lot of guests. Where are you calling from?
I'm in Southern California, real close to the border.
Cool. Well, good to see you. Did you get a lot of rain too?
Yeah, it's been raining a lot. Actually, I had a bunch of branches fall out of a palm tree because they were so waterlogged.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be on my list of things to deal with.
To-do list. Yeah. Okay, so I got Day Whatever up if you want to read it.
Okay, thank you. My predictable viscera wakes me. Then I lift my son from his crib. Between hallway and landing, I've kissed him 9 times. I serve him a high-caloric shake in a Mickey Mouse cup. I play dish rack Jenga and put away everything I'm not about to use. Now done with his shake, my boy is landing headbutts and kisses on a stuffed giraffe. Mommy comes downstairs. Hola, mi amor, she sings. He runs to her. She hugs him. He orbits her as she folds pajamas and bandanas. I take a break from the stove and reach for the time and the weather. Instead, my phone reminds me. This is the apocalypse.
Great. Thanks so much for sharing that. And that's at JPK. Is that Twitter?
That's my Twitter handle. Yeah, I currently have 2 followers, so maybe I'll garner a couple more.
We'll give him some more followers. He's got 2. Let's magnify that right now. And that's
great. There's a few blog entries on there too. I have a little blog I play with too. So
great.
If you go to Twitter, you can get some more stuff.
Great, sounds good. Well, thanks so much for calling in and sharing that. I really appreciate it. And love the extra guests too.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye.
Okay, so let's see. Next up, we will have Nancy Kangas. Nancy Kangas is a poet we've published. I think we tried to get her on and it didn't work a couple weeks ago. Let's see what she's got for us this Easter Sunday. Hey, Nancy, just click out of YouTube and then I'll pull you in. Yeah, like X out of YouTube because I can hear myself. Well, you're still here, so I think you're good. And I don't hear anymore, so we're good. Okay, let me pull you in. Hello, Nancy Kangas. Good to see you. And I can't remember where you're from. Where are you from?
Columbus, Ohio.
Columbus, Ohio. A lot of Ohioans coming in. But you do you have those amazing kids poems. You teach kids, and you came to our poetry reading in LA maybe 3 years ago. Did a great reading there. So really cool to see you again. Thanks so much.
Yeah, well, thanks for getting us writing and sharing. I write a lot, but I don't share a lot, but you got me to do it, so I appreciate it.
Well, that's great. It's really my pleasure. Which one did you want to share? I have Raw or April in the time when I'm not allowed with people? Or do you want something else?
Let's try Raw.
Raw, okay.
No, Raw, because Raw is rawest.
Okay.
It's the newest.
Okay. Oh, and this is self-translated from Spanish.
Yes, it's this game I've been playing where I write in Spanish, a language that I don't know very well, and it makes you have to say things awkwardly. But I love how it works. And then I throw it into Google Translate, and it's not going to last forever. This game, because eventually I'm going to learn Spanish.
Wow. Yeah, that's a really cool idea. I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah, and learning it through writing poems is a cool way to learn Spanish too.
A little bit.
Okay, cool. Well, here we go. It's on screen now. Raw.
Yeah.
Okay.
Raw. In the early days of the moving pictures, we put the theater in front of the camera. How many years did we need to think up movies new and cut them from that box of stage? Maybe 10, I don't know. The point is that now everyone, they are Zoom babies. We learn where's the camera, the green eye pointed pin, and the angle of the mouth of the laptop. School teachers asked me to send a YouTube in which I speak of a poem and make a lesson of poetry. Okay, I will look at the green hole, and with my head and a small, small move of my lips, I will say to children, please, do not look at me. Come outside. Can you hear it? It is the automobile of wheels on streets, the chit, chit, chit of some bird, and the thud of my heart in its box. The wind is cold, and there is no school. School was a fantasy of adults. Now I have said it. Play without electricity and new books, which is dull. This summer, we will be wild like tigers. Please scream.
Thanks so much. That was Raw by Nancy Kangas. Excellent poem. I really like that a lot. And that's really cool process, translating it back from Spanish. That is really neat. Thanks so much for sharing that, Nancy.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Happy Easter and stay safe.
You too.
Bye.
Thanks.
Okay, so let's see. Next up would be John Luna. I haven't contacted him yet, so he's listening. Let me pull up his poem and I'll give him a ring. This is John Luna. Make sure. Okay, here we go. John Luna, hey, this is Tim with Rattle. I'm going to pull you in just a second. Trying to find your poem, too. Okay. I see it. Okay, let me pull you in. Hang on one second. And click on the video so we can see you, too. But you're on mic, at least, right now.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. I am still learning my way with Skype here, so let me just find that.
It's between the microphone. If you hover your mouse over the screen, over the video, it's between the microphone icon. And there you go. Here you come.
There we have it.
Yeah, good to see you. Yeah, thanks so much for calling. And where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Shawnigan Lake, British Columbia, which is like a rural village setting.
Very nice. That's where if I could pick a place to live, it would be somewhere like Shawnigan Lake, British Columbia. That would be my jam. Yeah, definitely.
Are you? When you said you're in the mountains, in California, where in the mountains are you?
We're in a town called Wrightwood, which you can see if you're watching. This is a camera phone photo from a hiking trail that I sort of played with. It's the background image of this. But we're like 2 hours maybe west of LA, up in the mountains. It's 6,000 feet.
Hi, family Big Bear.
Oh, yeah, it's very similar to Big Bear. It's like the next town over, much smaller. We have like a very small ski resort. And yeah. Let's see. So the poems you had. Okay, reading poem 61. That starts at milestone 1?
Yeah, that one will be fine.
Okay. Oh, you sent another 2, though? Whichever one.
I fixed up both 61 and 59 a little since we talked. So
well, I have 61 here. Let's do 61.
Great. Thank you.
Okay.
And these are, I'll just quickly say, these poems are always based on fragments of whatever it is I am reading. They kind of assimilated, and so that becomes part of the title. So this is reading poem 61, an assignment for distance education. Everyone thinks they're right about masks. Letters to family and friendly acquaintances that reveal too much. Song Dong, Breathing, 1996. Milestone 1 is your life becoming a still drawing. This drawing should include a viewfinder frame. Julie is working in her office making masks out of old patterned dresses and bits of spare elastic. Please let us know if I can send you one. I was clobbered by an old problem, epilepsy, which also triggered some weird autoimmune arthritis thing. Gout? What fresh hell? That mostly seems to exist to appear in the middle of the night and mercilessly make me regret everything I'm doing with my life. I find it very ironic that the one time I'm not pacing around and talking constantly, my feet are suddenly in ruin. Anyway, so much for the egocentricity of exile. What books are you reading now? Everything I read now asks me, what if you're stuck waiting at a crosswalk and someone is there? What if you're going for a run, another runner heading toward you, and the sidewalk is narrow? Suddenly, daily mundanities seem to demand strategy, decried the Atlantic. When have they not, I wondered. Masks are a symbol, yes, but not just of conscientiousness. With this article and others like it covering the face of every book on my nightstand, a cartoon Kafka, for instance, I keep thinking of consciousness. Consider Song Dong's performance for the massacred in Tiananmen Square. Breathing face down, on frozen ground, still until a small spore of ice formed. Consider the marriage of mirror and mask.
Very nice. Thanks so much. It was John Luna reading poem 61, an assignment for distance education. Yeah, thanks so much. It's a cool form you're doing there too. I like that.
Well, thanks. It's been interesting right now, especially for Poets Response. So I'm really grateful that you have. Thanks.
Yeah, very cool. Well, thanks so much for calling in, and hope to see you again soon.
Thanks.
Bye. Okay, so we got a lot of people trying to call in, and let's go to a phone number. I love having people's video, but phones are really cool because I have no idea. This is a 508 area code. I've heard it's called a few times, so let's give this a call and see who it is. It's always sort of a mystery behind door number 2 kind of thing. Well, it's ringing. You can hear the ringing. Well, whoever that is isn't answering right now. We'll try.
Your call has been forwarded.
Okay. Well, we'll try the other phone number. It's a 607 number. We'll see who this is. Here, I'll let you hear the phone again.
Hello?
Hey, this is Tim with Rattle, and you're live on the air for the Poets Respond Live. Who am I talking to?
This is Wendy Stewart.
Hey, Wendy. Oh, I think I can hear myself in the background, so click out of or mute whatever you're listening to.
Okay. How's that?
Perfect, yeah. So who is this and where are you calling from?
My name is Wendy Stewart, and I'm calling from Vestal, New York.
Awesome. Oh, Vestal, New York. That's where Binghamton.
Yes, that's
SUNY
right.
Binghamton is, yeah. Oh, and so your last name, Wendy who?
Stewart, Stewart.
Okay, let me try to find the poem.
And I resent the poem that I sent in earlier. It's called In a Small Workroom.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I see it here. Perfect. Okay. Hang on one second. So, are you affiliated with SUNY Binghamton? Because I know I was there interviewing Maria Gillen. Oh, shoot. They can't hear you right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah. I just had it on the wrong setting.
Okay.
So I went there to interview Maria Gillen back. Maybe just such a wonderful person that runs the program there. Are you affiliated with Binghamton?
Yes, I am. I teach first-year writing and direct the Writing Center there.
Very cool. Well, I have your poem in a small workroom up on screen if you want to read it.
That would be lovely. Thank you.
Great.
In a small workroom, you try to say your mantra as you sew to keep some loved ones safe from harm today and pass the time. You haven't reached the state where it says itself to you without your will. You want each stitch to pierce the cloth with love and armor too. Om Mani Padme Hum, the jewel in the lotus of the heart. Those words you chose last year and now renew. Because the lotus doesn't only float above mud, pure and waxen, shedding filth. It needs the muck and tumult to be born. Because though gems are nature's, we make jewels. Because the flower's heart's the only place clean and safe enough for love to live and be reborn with every breath, each stitch, big enough for love to carve the jewel. Today those jewels are homemade pleated masks, a plain enough design that even you can puzzle out the planes and the facets. Two each, one mask to wear and one to wash. The jewel also is your daughter's face, yearbooked too soon by Zoom, like snow in June. Her beauty blooming in her anxious room, this mask will cover when she steps outside. The jewel in the lotus of the heart is to your husband's strength as he prepares to shop each week with courtesy and wit. This mask pays homage to the warrior's rank. And it's your friend who lives alone and needs to minister to you once in a while over FaceTime cocktails to call to mind laughter's not diversion nor fear's mask. It's also your dear neighbors, friends who walk despite because of ailing heart and lungs, who'd water houseplants when you'd go on trips, and now will tend your child if there's a gap from us to us. The jewels weigh down your hands as you thread bobbins, pin right sides, tuck in and pleat, reverse, top stitch, pick out bad seams, and say, not here, Om Mani Padme Hum. Your singer, knowing Greek but not Sanskrit, hums its mantra louder than your own. Synchronous, 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 synchronous. And that's right, too, for two things can be true. Machinery of now to pull my hand, though inexpert, growing steadier with every stitch. Om Mani Padme Hum.
Wendy Stewart, thanks so much. That was in a small workroom. Thanks so much for sharing that poem. Another really great one. We just get so many, there's just so many good poems. It's the golden age of poetry, I swear. And it's great to be able to participate in that. It really is, yeah. Well, keep up the great work.
Thank you so much for the invitation.
Yeah, keep up the great work at Binghamton, which I think is one of the best two programs in the country for poetry. If you actually care about poetry, that's my genuine opinion. So good to hear from you, and
wonderful to
keep
hear.
up the good work there. Yeah, have a good one.
Great. Thank
Bye.
you. You too. Bye-bye.
Okay, let's see. As always, let me put up these numbers just once again. It's 818-850-7727, or you can send a Skype message to Rattle Poetry. We have several more people, so I think we might be able to, if there's anybody who hasn't called in or contacted me yet and would like to, we'll probably have time for like one more if you haven't contacted me yet, but we have like 3 or 4 more people lined up. Let's see, we'll go to, we'll do Miriam Bloomfield next. Let me give her a call. Marion Panazon is calling too. I'll try to get you back. We got a lot of people here. We'll try to get to everybody. But I'm gonna do Miriam Bloomfield and try to find. I wonder if she sent. Hey, Marion. Let me pull you in just 1 second.
Okay.
And
wow.
Yeah, great to see you. Everybody can see you and hear you now. Where are you calling from?
Hang on, let me just, so sorry. I'm new to this as well. I wanted to click it off. I'm calling from Tucson.
Ah, okay, Tucson.
Yeah.
And how are things going there?
Well, we got your rainstorm.
Oh yeah, I bet.
It was a real treat for us. Of course, we need the rain, and it's actually cool. Today's perfect. But our mayor's been great. She took all the actions in advance, and people are taking care of each other here. And yeah, I'm especially treasuring poetry at this time. The ones that have been read and the ones on the website really stay with me.
Well, thanks so much. That's really great to hear. I'm trying to. You said your poem is New Maths. I'm trying to.
New Maths. Yeah. I sent it email version today, about an hour ago.
To which email address?
I was the one that didn't get read last week. You called my name, but it didn't get read.
Okay.
So you said.
I'm trying to find it. I'd like to put it up, Miriam.
Send it to you.
The open mic.
I sent an email from. I thought I sent it to the right email.
Well, did you send it? Did you submit it?
I submitted it for last week's. And
okay,
then,
I found it. It was in my my Tim email, and the I got it. So we're good. Sorry for the delay. There's a bunch of places to check. Okay, let me pull it up on screen so everybody can read along.
Okay, I just really appreciate what you're doing.
Oh, it's really my pleasure. It's just a lot of fun for me. Once you have the technology worked out, it's just so fun and easy to do. Just walking in here and turning it all on, and then getting to meet people. It's really, really great. Yeah.
I don't. Yeah.
Okay.
You might have seen that way.
Thanks. Okay, so it's on screen. New Math.
Okay. First, we learned to count to 20, singing as we soaped. Then we saw percentages loomed larger than we hoped. 14 days of quarantine was anybody's guess. X days on a surface scared us silly, hoarding mess. 6 feet now, the magic distance, practiced far too late. Exponential growth explodes as some still call it fake. Fractions and projections steer us blindly for a shore, buoyed by those who speak the truth and those demanding more. Thousands lack the gear each day they're asked to risk their lives. Millions are the shortfalls, preparations laid aside. Months and years ignoring what the experts knew would come. 4 months of inaction here, the lies a killing sum. Still our hearts spread countless to the ill and suffering. People feed each other, offer solace and TP. Songs and cheers go soaring, riding out upon the air. Balcony and window thanks to those who offer care. Now we count our blessings, grateful for another day. Work to stem the damages, take turns to bear the weight. Finally, we understand that no one is exempt. Apart yet linked together, compound interest must be spent.
Very nice. Thanks so much, Miriam. And that was New Math by Miriam Bloomfield. Thanks so much for sharing that. Yeah, the numbers have a greater importance than ever, I think, for sure. It's sort of a march of numbers is what we're going through.
It is. And this poem, 2 weeks old, is already out of date.
Yeah. Yeah. I was actually looking at the logarithmic chart. It's at worldometer.com. And if you use the log chart, you can see a line of how the growth is going, and you can see how we flattened the curve. But if we hadn't, done the social distancing and flattened it, we would be at 10 million cases right now. 10 million instead of 500,000. So we really made a difference.
Wow. Wow.
And so all the numbers, I don't know, all the numbers do count because those are real lives. It would be 10 million cases and 100,000 deaths if we hadn't done the drastic measures that we're all doing here. So just thanks everybody out there who's social distancing and avoiding crowds and doing all the stuff we're doing, wearing a mask everywhere you go.
Truly. And keep breathing.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thanks so much for calling up, Miriam, and I hope to see you soon.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
See, let me see if I can throw that up on screen really quick. Actually, just see. I kind of wonder if I could put an image on screen fast enough to do it other times. So I wonder if I could. I'm going to count the time, the seconds it takes. Okay, there we go. That's pretty easy. Yeah, so this is what I was doing the other day. I was just wondering, and that's where it'd be. This is a logarithmic chart. So the line going up is where we would be, and every branch up is a factor of 10. So we would be at 10 million cases if we hadn't started social distancing in early mid-March. So thanks to everybody who did that and continues to do that, because you're saving lives. That's what we're all doing right now. Anyway, let's see. Miriam Panitson, if I'm saying that right, would like to join in. So, giving her a call. Hey, you have to just click out of your YouTube or whatever you're watching it, and then I'll pull you in. Hello. And click on the camera button so we can see you.
Hi.
Hi. Thanks so much. This is you got a really great internet connection, so I have to shrink you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is Miriam Panizone. Is that how I'd say it? Panizone?
Panizone, yeah. Panizone. It's a Northern Italian name.
Well, great. Well, it's a wonderful name. So thanks so much for calling and joining us. Let me see. You said you sent it over email. So let me find it really quick. I see it here. Okay. So this is Verse Against Virus.
Yep.
Okay. And where are you calling from?
Bern, Switzerland.
Bern, Switzerland. Oh, that's great. Love to see international people. How are things going in Switzerland? That's a country I haven't really heard much about from here.
Well, we're a little bit further than you in the curve and the social distancing. So we hope to get out of the measures by the end of April, but schools are going to be closed until June. And we're sort of third largest hit after Italy and Spain.
Yeah, so. Yeah. Well, it's good to see. It's always good to sort of, because everyone's on the same path, really. And so you're sort of looking in the past and the future, no matter which country you're looking at. So it's good to see that you have a light at the end of the tunnel coming up, hopefully.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have the poem ready if you want to read it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the poem is called Coronation, actually. And
Coronation, sorry, yeah.
Coronation. And it has to do with my weekly work at a refugee reception center where we don't have home office, obviously. And so like the nursing homes, this is another place where you have to be physically present and the virus is present. And reception centers in Switzerland are always at the periphery of cities. So my work way is through nature, through the woods, tranquility, stillness, and therefore coronation. So when nature finally can stretch without having to fear the snatch of human nature's wanting catch, reaching for her mother's breast, when pods and buds ripen effervescent blossoms, lichens, the setting sun for silken cover, no neon light will disturb the lover. A windless evening will set a plaid of sour clove sleeping under nature's bow. Rhyme and thyme can wait for Diana's arrow to move more slow. If bushes thrive in an outdoor living room undeterred by human taste, who puts in vases what will waste the stolen dying fruits of gloom. A petal dies into cracks of earth enriched, washed clean of human pit. To the dewy music of the morning news, as not to awaken to a sound of blues, awaiting their span of budding, a canopy of whitewashed blossom, burgeoning trees setting free, acres of green, quarantined from human spleen. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Miriam. That was Coronation. Thanks so much for joining us and sharing that. Just beautiful descriptions going through the woods there. We love hiking too, so it's nice to hear that. Thank you so much for sharing that and for calling in from Switzerland.
Thanks a lot for having me.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
all the best to you in the US with
Well,
the
well,
rest of
thank you,
it.
thank you. Yeah, same to you, and stay safe and be well.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Okay, let's see. So it's let's see. It's 10 o'clock my time. We'll do one more. Trying to find Lavinia Kumar. Maybe we'll do two more. We'll see how long this goes. But let's talk to Lavinia first. Hey, Lavinia, let me click off your wherever you're watching so we don't get the feedback. Oh, great. Okay, let me pull you in. Lavinia, hi. Lavinia Kumar, how are you doing, and where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Plainsboro, New Jersey, which is near to Princeton.
Ah, very nice, very nice. And how are things in your neck of the woods?
Well, it's a lovely day today, but there's going to be wind, and tomorrow will be thunder.
Mm-hmm.
So we take it as it comes.
Yeah, it's spring. You never know what you're going to get with the weather.
No, it's lovely though today.
So I have We Wear the Mask. Is that the one you wanted to read?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. It's on screen, so whenever you're ready, go ahead.
Okay.
Oops.
We wear the mask that grins and lies. It hides our cheeks and shades our eyes. Thick cotton catches our scared sighs. With hearts caught, we walk each mile in grave separation. We know our world is not overwise as it digs for needed medical supplies. Should we sink to only tears and sighs? But no, we wear the mask. And we smile, we hope, we write, email, text, Zoom, and FaceTime. With hidden mouth we read our lines, threads, not hiding our saddened eyes. Our spring, our busy world, now quiet. We all wear the mask. We isolate our friendly smiles to save those helping fight for lives. Each face cover a separate butterfly, homemade of cotton. Cherry trees bloom in pink and white. Commuters now see, with new time not wasted in car, train, or bus ride. A new neighborhood to see, with eyes the cardinals, robins, sing in surprise as we look up in our masks.
Thanks so much. That was Lavinia Kumar reading We Wear the Mask. Thanks so much for sharing that. And it's interesting that's the third poem that's had Zoom gotten in there. And that's the thing I notice every week as I read these submissions. There's sort of certain trends and things. And this was the week that Zoom started getting into poems as everybody's learning how to use Zoom. So thanks so much for sharing that. Really good poem.
We do some poetry workshops by Zoom.
Yeah. I think everybody does. I don't know how they have the server width to withstand the amount of new traffic they must be getting. I don't know. That's impressive that it hasn't crashed yet. But
they're marvelous.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much for calling in. I really appreciate it, and hope to see you soon.
Thank you.
Bye. Stay safe.
Bye.
Okay, let's do one more poet. Let's see. We have I'm going to make sure I got to everybody ahead. Okay, so the next, we'll do one more. This is another phone call. And it's a 209 number. We'll see if whoever this is picks up. A 209 number. I'll let you hear the ringing. Hey, this is Tim Green with Rattle Magazine and the Poetry Spawn Live Open Mic. You're you're on the stream if you'd like to read a poem. Who am I talking to?
Yeah, this is Joe Nolan.
Joe Nolan. Hey, good to see you. Good to hear you. And where are you?
Stockton, California.
Stockton, California. Okay, let me. How do you spell your name? Let me try to pull up your poem.
Nolan.
Nolan. Okay. And you submitted
There's two, just today.
Oh, just today.
One is called Social Distancing, and the other is Self-Quarantine.
Okay, hang on one. Let me see. Well, hang on one second. So how are things doing where you are? Let's just ask you that while I try to
Everything's fine.
find it.
It's very quiet, you know. There's nobody out too much.
Are you having trouble staying sane without as much
No, I'm
social
okay.
contact?
You know, I'm married, so I've got some company here in the house with my wife, and I'm mostly retired now. I used to be an attorney, so you know, it's just a quiet life. But I have chronic fatigue, so I've been socially limited anyway.
I'm trying to find your poem, and it's not coming up. You said N-O-L...
I sent it in through Submittable, N-O-L-A-N.
Yeah, N-O-L-A-N. That's what I typed into search, and it's not there. And
Do
you
you want me to do a direct email? I sent it through Submittable.
Yeah, if you want to email it to openmic@rattle.com really quick. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Miriam Bloomfield wasn't showing up either, so that might be the search function. I mentioned the server for Zoom last time. Everybody's server's having trouble because so many people are using the. Yeah, but if you could email it to me, then I could show it.
Shall I hang up now and then email it to you?
Or do you want to just read it and I'll try to find it again
sure.
as you. Yeah, why don't you just read it? And I think maybe if I clear everything out, I can find it.
Oh, okay. Social distancing. There are dreams afoot, and worries too. The air is thick with fear. For the first time, store shelves are empty, and everyone too near. Too near for the feeling of comfort. Too near for the risk of plague. No more touching and hugging. The California dream has been played. From now on, we'll be more careful whom we choose to embrace. More so, we'll be more distant, more kept alone in our space.
Very nice. Well, thanks so much for sharing that. I think maybe what happened is it's so recent that it's not showing up for me yet. If you just sent it, there's always like a 30-minute delay before it pops into my view.
Sure.
But we could hear it great. So thanks so much for sharing that poem.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us too.
Okay, yeah, pleasure, Tim. And I just found your works, and I'm very pleased with it. So thank you for all your work.
Oh yeah, my pleasure. It's just a lot of fun. I love this job. It's really, you can't get a better job than this. Have a good one and stay safe.
Oh, you too. Bye-bye now.
Bye. Okay, so I think I got to everybody, actually. I think this is the first time we've gotten to everybody who asked, unless I'm missing somebody. Although every time somebody calls in, the order on my little window shuffles. But let's see. Okay, so I think, that we're good. It's just past. This is the exact 60 to 70 minutes I want these shows to be. So thanks for joining us. That is our show for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Next, on Tuesday, our guest is going to be Charles Harper Webb. Charles Harper Webb is the first poet we ever interviewed. It was the first poet Alan ever interviewed. Alan Fox, our founding editor, way back in issue number 5. And he's a prolific poet, really funny, really witty, entertaining all around, touching poems. There's a lot of variety to Charles Harper Webb's work. It's always really fun to read. His newest book is Sidebend World, which came out last year from Pitt Press. He's got a poem in the current issue of Rattle, so that's why he's the guest this week on the Rattlecast number 37. That's Tuesday night, April 14th at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific to hope. So I hope to see you there, and hope to see you too. We're going to do these open mic shows every week. It's going to be 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern time. So join us if you can. Keep sending your poems, keep writing them. This is the golden age of poetry, and it's really an honor to get to share all this work. So thanks so much for joining me, and I will talk to you later. Bye.